චන්ඩි පැන්ඩා සමට සූදු බවට ඇමරිකාවෙන් සාතිකලත් එකම විෂබීජනාශක සබන්.
The Constitutional Council met at 10 a.m. at the Parliament chamber after a lapse of over a year yesterday. The meeting was convened to table the report prepared by the panel of experts for the steering committee headed by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and representations made by political parties on drafting a new constitution at the Constitutional Assembly yesterday. As it was the first time the Constitutional Assembly gathered in Parliament following the formation of the new government, exceptionally low attendance were reported during the Constitutional Council session. The meeting saw low attendance from the government and the TNA, who vehemently supported the establishment of a new constitution. Meanwhile, the reports pertaining to the constitutional reforms presented to the Parliament yesterday was heavily criticised by politicians.
It is very clear that what is being done with regard to the constitutional reform process is entirely undemocratic. It is totally lacking in transparency. There is no openness at all. And this is made clear by the fact that the backbenchers of the United National Party themselves are asking the government to clarify the meaning of Oromittu Nadu. That is a basic feature of the proposed constitution. That is the name that is sought to be given to the Republic of Sri Lanka. Even with regard to that, there is no clarity. When this debate was taking place in Parliament, out of a total of 225 members of Parliament, 169 were not present in the chamber. So this alone shows how much interest there is in the proposed constitutional reform process on the part of the members of Parliament. This is the desire, the priority of the diaspora, the Tamil National Alliance and various foreign elements. The entire process is contrary to standing orders. According to the standing orders of Parliament, a minimum of 3 days must be given before a debate can take place on this report, in order to give members of Parliament the opportunity to make themselves familiar with the provisions of the proposed amendment. That opportunity was not given. This was thrust upon them. And the debate had to take place immediately. The only thing that can be presented to Parliament in this situation is a report of the steering committee. What was submitted was not a report of the steering committee, that was admitted by the government. What we see today is an attempt behind the backs of the people. This Parliament does not have the moral authority to foist on the people of this country a constitution that will govern generations to come. Anybody who has a proposal with regard to a new constitution can submit that to the judgment of the people. So let the people in their wisdom decide what is appropriate. It cannot be done in this way. We don't think that a constitution is a priority today with the acute economic hardships that the people are undergoing.
A good political decision should be arrived at. This decision should allow lands to be reclaimed and police powers to be vested. We do not want to conquer the borders of others. We prefer to live in peace and freedom within our borders. We expect a peaceful environment under an indivisible country where we can make our own decisions. This is the reason why we are in favour of this constitution. This should receive the 2/3 majority in Parliament. The constitution can only be amended if it garners the support of 50% during a referendum. A solution to racism will have to be found through or according to international mechanisms if they fail to pass the new constitution in Parliament. The government is surviving on the 14 votes of the TNA. Therefore, the government should do everything that the TNA requests. The Prime Minister himself says that it is not a federal state but unitary. If he reads it in detail, the first clause is the proposal to change the unitary state. There is no constitution and no draft constitution. We do not agree with the opinions of the experts. They created a phantom of separatism through this draft constitution. The truth is that no draft has yet been made in Parliament. A new constitution is not possible according to the current composition of Parliament either. It was utter rubbish that they presented in the name of the constitution. The Prime Minister wants to win the trust of the Tamil people for the next presidential election.